Hey there, so I want to show you today something really cool that you can do with the new feature that for now is on beta. It's GitHub Codespaces, but I think this is going to change the way we work in open source and the way we learn about tools. And let me show you an example. So here, that is Codespaces. You can go there, request early access, but soon this will be out of public beta. Anyway, we have RabbitMQ, right? RabbitMQ is an open source broker. You can use it for messaging, queuing, blah, blah, blah. You can read more there. But why I think Codespaces is really cool and it's going to change the game. Look at this. RabbitMQ comes, or the website comes with a bunch of tutorials. So if you want to get started, you will go there and then try, let's say, hello world or work queues, publish, subscribe, etc., etc. But if you want to try any of these tutorials, as it says here, you need to install RabbitMQ, you need to have your Docker image, blah, 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 blah. Boring. I don't want to do that, right? I just want to go straight and start running the code. So, as you can see here, this source code for all these tutorials is open source. So I went to GitHub, I cloned this repository and made my repo Codespaces enabled, let's call it. So what happens if I do this? I went to my Codespaces account inside GitHub. Again, you need to request access for this or wait until this is out of public beta. And here is my repo running on Codespaces. It is running already because I just don't want to wait for this particular demo to show you what I can do. I don't want to wait for GitHub to build a container, but it's just building a container. There's nothing magical going on there or nothing special, let's say. But again, because I made this repo Codespaces enabled, I will show you soon what that means. If I go to my Codespaces account, I open this, you will see that now this is being initialized and it's, I'm accessing my Codespace. What does that mean? Is that I have a full, completely running Visual Studio Code environment that also has stuff that I put in that container. What is that thing? I have RabbitMQ already. It's just there, magically it's there. I don't need to install anything, okay? So let me show you this. If I do RabbitMQ server and I start the server in the background, RabbitMQ will be running there. And you can see immediately, Codespaces is telling me, this container has a lot of internal ports. They are already being forwarded automatically for me. So this is the RabbitMQ 15672. This is the RabbitMQ management plugin. If I click there, it will do automatic or automagic for forwarding, and it gets me already on my RabbitMQ management plugin. So I can log in there, and this is running on GitHub Codespaces. Okay, this is, for me, it's mind blowing. But let's keep seeing what do I mean. So we wanted to run tutorials, right? That is what we actually wanted to do. So let's go to the code, because now I have the code of all the RabbitMQ tutorials there, right? And I prepared this for JavaScript. So I go to the README. Let's go to the terminal, and I need to install this library called NQP library, right? So npm install NQP library. This is the client that will connect or talk to RabbitMQ, and I will save it for this project. I did a tiny mistake. Let's go into this folder. Sorry for that. And let's install the library. I need to be in the folder for the tutorials, right? So now that I'm in the folder for these tutorials, let's run the first tutorial. Like it's node source send, right? That is the first tutorial from RabbitMQ. So I will run node source send, and it sent hello world. Did it work? I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, let's go to RabbitMQ management. I have queues. I have my hello world queue there, right? And what do I have? One message. So this is working. I didn't do anything. I didn't start RabbitMQ. I didn't do any port forwarding. This is just there working, okay? So I go back now to my Visual Studio Code inside GitHub Codespaces. Again, I didn't install anything here, except this library for sure. So, second step in the tutorial, receive. Let's see if the message is there. So, node again, node source, receive JS, and there I got the message from the queue, right? And Control C to stop that consumer. Let's go to Rabbit Management. Let's refresh the queue. The queue is empty, so this is working, right? So we can keep going. There are more tutorials, blah, blah, blah. That is cool. So one thing, we made it. You can literally run all of this without installing anything and start learning, in this case, RabbitMQ, but think of any other tool where you could actually do this, right? Any other database, any kind of complex tool that your project requires. You can get all your colleagues up to speed or your customers up to speed just by going to your GitHub repo and making it Codespaces ready. So what did I have to do in this case? And I had to do this because at the moment there is no official, let's say, RabbitMQ Codespace image on GitHub Codespaces. If I would do a pull request and this will be accepted, then for sure this I wouldn't have to do this step that I'm going to show you now. But what did I do? I created a folder called dev container. Okay, I can show you actually directly here. I created this folder called dev container. I added a dev container JSON file, and here I say, okay, the name of my dev container is gonna be RabbitMQ tutorials. It will load whatever is in this Docker file. It will automatically forward these ports that you can see here, right? And what kind of terminal I want, and if I want to enable certain Visual Studio Code extensions and so on, all like details that for now we don't care. But I added this file. I'm telling, I'm making my repo Codespaces ready, right? Then I have my Docker file. I just got the standard RabbitMQ Docker file with the management plugin enabled, just that. And then I put this little script here that I took from the official dev container repo from GitHub. And I took from there also this other file. But if you go here, you can see all those files in this repo, right? And this repo is just a public repo with all the official containers. So there is a lot of containers for Azure functions with Python, for machine learning with Python, for static web apps, you name it. There are a lot of containers there. The only thing I did was kind of add my own dev container, for RabbitMQ. And as you can see, it's just using the Docker image for RabbitMQ. So I pushed all these changes to GitHub, and because now my RabbitMQ tutorials repository, which for sure I can send a pull request to the official repo, that is a different problem. I added my dev container folder, and then GitHub automatically knows how to run this whole project inside Codespaces. I get RabbitMQ for free, I got Node.js for free, and if I want to, in this case, introduce somebody to RabbitMQ with these tutorials that you can see in this page, I just need to they will need to just open the repo inside Codespaces. So that is the demo. That is what I wanted to show you, and I think this is really going to change the way we teach open source, we collaborate in open source, and so on, because we are removing so many barriers from users on having access to tools, having access to code, being able to modify the code, to run code without almost doing anything. You can just go to GitHub, click open in Codespaces, and you see what you just saw. So that is impressive for me, at least. I hope this is also impressive for you. And thanks. My name is Alvaro, and see you in the next demo.